Hey everybody! I couldn't decide if I wanted to say hey or hello, and what came out was "Wow." Welcome. Perfect intro. My name's Josh. Welcome to Bish's RV. It's been a couple years since I had an opportunity to get one of these 25 RB J feathers on camera because this thing's so popular, it tends to go out as soon as it comes in. So I saw one come in and I jumped all over this today, even though I had a bunch of other videos to get to first. I wanted to get to this one as a priority because they've made some really nice enhancements here. First of all, J Feather and White Hawk basically kind of merged within the Jayco lineup. So there's some aspects of this J Feather that leveled up compared to previous seasons. Like the nose cap obviously looks a little more White Hawky than it has in the past, and it gives it just a really, I think, high-end sharp look. This has also gone to a true queen bed in the bedroom versus the camp queen the last time that I recorded this. It still has a great extended season weather package. They're still doing basically double Asdale, but all composite walls on this. So you've got, aluminum framed walls, flooring. You do have their plywood decked Magnum Truss roof system. And if you're looking for something with a bazooka butt friendly bathroom, baby, you have found it right here, because this has a ginormous bathroom in the back and a big living room super slide to give you plenty of space and some excellent storage. It is a little shy on campsite windows, and giving you things like that, telling you the good with the bad, that's what we're going to do in this video today to help you decide if this is the right one for you or not. So you've got things like Jayco's 2-year warranty, the Goodyear Endurance radials, the tire pressure monitoring package that's available on these, factory standard 200-watt solar, some minimal inverter prep, a really nice front pass-through compartment, blackout window shades, and a bunch of other good things, but also a couple hitches in its giddy-up. If you like how we share the good with the bad, hit that subscribe button, and as we go, leave me some comments. Let me know what you like and what you don't like about this RV. All right, we got a lot to cover, so let's get dug in here. Unfortunately, despite all the years I've been trying to get dug in here, it seems that we still don't have somebody named Doug that works here. So it's been very difficult to actually get dug in here. But moving on from that, c'est la vie. Everybody say it with me, la vie. Man, he's hot with the dad jokes today. What do we got in this camper? Because this is a floor plan that everybody and their brother builds. Well, J Feather is carpetless and it's ventless flooring. You can see how they put their heat ducts actually in the cabinet sides, like under the sink cabinetry, that black rectangle over there by the floor, that's your heat ducting. There's another one of those by the floor, straight across from the electric space heating fireplace. So you actually can have dual fire breathers shooting at you. Well, it's not actually a fire-breathing fireplace. It's an electric space heater that's gussied up and churched up to look like a fireplace. Now, they run a larger air conditioner on this standard, which is nice. The light colors help it look and feel open. This is a 6'6" ceiling, though. It's an industry standard 6.5-foot ceiling height. It's not extra tall. So that could be one of those things that maybe is an important factor for you. And as I mentioned, like, we got some awesome big windows in this slide, but they are staring off of the poop side of the camper, and they're not really looking out under your awning. That's just kind of one of those things that this floor plan does not do fantastically well. And I know that really is irritating to some folks, and that's just how this one do it, basically. They are one decor to rule them all. If you like this lighter, brighter, vintage farmhouse, I think it's called, look or whatever, great. And if you don't, I would definitely suggest taking a look at the links in the video description that I've left you, so you can find a couple other builders who make a layout like this and decide which one kind of works best for you. Now, I'm going to come back in the kitchen in a minute and get all of this stuff open. I'm going to make a big old storage sweep. For now, I want to park my backside over here at the theater seat. In case you are curious, if you prefer a hide-a-bed, if you prefer a table and chairs, those features are available as options. So you can kind of pick the seating that you like. And I want to give them credit. Notice how they did not put the TV all the way up against the ceiling. So this is a absolute no neck wrecker entertainment center. You're just staring straight at this thing like the guy from the Maxell Tapes commercial, you know? And again, if you want to toast your piggies, you got the perfect little place right there to do it. It's also interesting. A lot of manufacturers have gone away from any AM/FM stereo function, and J Feather's still using full AM/FM stereo head. It's not DVD, but they actually, they have extra HDMI ports on the back of that TV. If you want to get like a small portable DVD player or something, you could. They have also maintained a full kitchen appliance set where you actually do have a propane oven. To make their RVs a little less expensive, some manufacturers have started doing electric oven, like convection air fryer combos. And those are great. Don't get me wrong. I love my air fryer at home. I think it's freaking awesome. But some people still like a propane oven. Jayfeather still does that for you. Over here, they've kind of dressed up their pop-up power tower a little bit, but it's essentially the same thing it always was. And I think it's in a great location because it's still easily reached if you need it, but it's out of the way enough that you still have a good chunk of functional counter space here that I think you can reach pretty reasonably and I almost wanted to say easonably. Yep, okay. RV Nerdism number 37, easonably. I'll let you decide what it means because I don't even know at this point. They do give us doors for the dinette storage if you stick with the traditional booth dinette. That is also a free-floating elliptical base table, but I'm not going to refer to that as a no-knee knocker. Those elliptical bases are nice because you can float stuff around, but they definitely still get in the way. If you're Johnny Longlegs like me, it gets in the way. Now, something I want to point out is this does have an extra large sliding pocket privacy door, but an interesting little Jayfeather feature. They actually put a little latch on the wall so you can actually essentially lock your bedroom door, which most brands don't do. And this is really rare. They included a bedroom light switch right here in the laminated wall, in the composite aluminum frame laminated wall. That's very rare. Most manufacturers will not do something like that because running wiring in a laminated wall is generally very, very difficult. Whereas like over here in the kitchen, that's a hollow wall between the bedroom and the kitchen, so it's very easy to run wiring. Now, in previous generations, Jayfeathers were often running Camp Queen beds. It's only in the last year or two they finally adopted the True Queen that we've all been basically begging for years. I also want to be fair. One of the things I like to do in my videos is I want to point out the highs and the lows of an RV. And if you appreciate that, if you're new with us, hit that subscribe button. And if you've returned, drop me a little hashtag nerdherd or something in the video. I don't know, or don't. I can't tell you what to do. But the location of that converter fuse box, it's a problem, potentially. For the most part, it's going to work just fine. But if you are camping and the slide is closed, you're going to lose access to this bedroom. And if you go to hit the slide button and the fuse pops, you're going to have to manually override the slide to get up in here to change that fuse. Now, that's a very rare occurrence, but good gravy, it sucks when that happens. To tell you how much, like, ask me how I know. Okay, working here all the years that I have, I've manually cranked 2 slides in my 16-year career, so it's very rare. But dude, it sucks. Anyway, I like how they give us full storage all the way around the bed here. And actually, they even make a lot of the storage come to you. They kind of have a 2-tier storage system here where you have dresser drawers off the sides of the bed base, on both sides of the bed. The bedroom storage I'm about to show you symmetrical. I'm going to show you half of it. So basically, double that. The gas struts make it easy to get to the foot locker, which does have plywood drawers. I like how they at least cut yeah, it doesn't sound good to say when a manufacturer cuts corners, but in the case of bed decking, I'm glad they do because I have scraped my legs up on so many of these things over the years. It's not even funny. Notice how the overhead cabinets, first of all, are enclosed, and secondly, hold themselves open. And then just the little details like this. Some people say, I don't need hanging storage. And some people say, I don't need dresser space. So they let you choose what you want. And the dresser side stands literally are drawers. The top slides open, so you don't have to take every single thing off of it every time you want to, get in there. So if you have something like an alarm clock sitting on the side of it, it's no big deal. As I mentioned, you do have storage going on down here under the dinette. Now, it doesn't have drawers, so my recommendation is go get a long plastic inexpensive tote from Target, Walmart, Amazon, whatever, and basically use that like a drawer so you can more easily reach all the stuff in the back. That's a pro tip from Uncle Josh. And here's another little pro tip from your Uncle Josh. If you're having trouble with your dinette cushions staying flat, try staggering them big, little, like I've done here. What a lot of people like to do is they put the 2 big ones together and the small ones on the end, or vice versa. They'll put the 2 little ones in the middle. But if you put them big, little, for some reason, I don't know the science behind this. I have not figured it out. All I know is that I have set up probably way more dinettes than any of you watching this video, and I have learned that works better. I don't know why. I don't think it should. I think it's ridiculous, but facts is facts, man. It's crazy the stuff you pick up when you've done, geez, at this point, I think I'm approaching 7,700 RV videos. You know, none of this knowledge is ever going to be on Jeopardy. I also want to give them credit. Look how they just, anywhere they could, they didn't just do pocket storage. They made drawers so that the storage comes to you. They really, really utilized every little nook and cranny. Like the space around each side of that stereo head, it's not much to write home about, but they really did a good job of not wasting anything. Here's another thing that's easy to miss. Jayfeather's funny about this. Every room has its own power vent fan, but the size of the vent fan varies by the room. In the living room, in the kitchen, in the biggest room, you get the biggest fan. In the bedroom, in the bathroom, you get the small little 4-inch fart fans, basically, but it's at least some kind of fan. Now, we work our way around the corner. They've got the abracadabra, motion lighting here, Lumos Solare, or something like that, as I think they set off Harry Potter. Right now, there are some Potterheads going, he said it wrong. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. And that's fine. I'll never be a wizard. That's okay. Oh, hold on. Notice that power outlet on the left side right there. So if you want to use this like a large appliance storage space, you can. And notice how the shelves don't come all the way to the depth of the virtual walk-in pantry-tainment center. That's nerdism number 37, by the way. They do that for a couple reasons. One, it gives you a place to hang a couple jackets, but if you want a place to put like a standing stick vac or a couple brooms or something like that in here, you absolutely could. Now, I tell you what, I got myself at absolutely the worst position to try to showcase this for you. Stand by. Ah, much better. There we go. So again, you have the choice between a trifold sleeper sofa or the wall-hugging theater recliner. The theater seat, you notice it has these little, I call them cupception swivel stands, where if you want to sit there and still have a place to drink your drink, but also set down a dinner plate or something, you got the perfect spot for it. This is another one of those little things I've picked up over the years. If you want to get those swivel stands out of the way, there's just enough room between the wall or the dinette and the sofa where you can just sort of slide them over there and use the cup insert to kind of hang it on the armrest, and it's out of the way, but it's ready. Like, it doesn't eat up storage that way. It's a good way to make them travel, actually, as well. You know what I need to do? I'm sorry. We haven't really seen the living room wide open from this direction. I've had all the cabinetry absolutely blown apart. And once again, what you see here is just that intensely awesome direct viewing entertainment. So if you do want something where you can sit inside and enjoy a little bit of the old boob tube action, you got a decent space for it. It's sort of toilet TV certified. The TV can swing out and pivot a little bit. It's not going to be ideal by any means, though. Now, you see the sliding privacy door for the bathroom. That's the exact same thing that we have for the bedroom, by the way. Working our way back here, take a look at the left side of the screen. The space around the toilet is just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And I suppose if you're sitting there on the toilet for an extended period of time, one of the things that you could potentially do is keep an eye on the dishes if you left the bathroom door open. I don't think that's a very useful feature myself, but it is theoretically something you could do. Again, the more you know. The RV I mentioned is 6.5 foot tall, so if you notice that my head absolutely has to be up in the skylight. There was this creepy guy in the mirror checking me out, but I was still able to get my head up in the skylight for you over there. Wasn't too much of a problem. Oh, hold on. Before I forget, I don't have it turned on. If you are wanting a little bit of a, how can I see what I'm doing at night thing, you got that single blue LED element right there. And at a glance, it's not a lot to write home about, but at night above the shower, it'll make the whole shower glow indirectly enough that you'll be able to see what you're doing in here and it won't be a problem. I do also want to point out, really good spot, I think, for the toilet paper roller. The old butt napkin holder right there, right next to the toilet, does a good job. And also, before I forget, take a look at the left side of the screen, and I want to show you all the linen storage that we have over there. Now, to help you understand how big that is, I grabbed one of those swivel stands from the sofa and put it in the top linen cabinet. And I think that really demonstrates very well how big, how much storage you have going on in there. Now, speaking of big, I love the fact that they didn't go with a dual sink setup. So many RV manufacturers, they get tempted to do that. But if you put a second sink over on the right-hand side, you'd have to sit on the toilet to brush your teeth. And that just don't feel organic and natural to me personally. Instead, what they did is just gave us giant counter space, but it's over the outdoor camp kitchen. So it's like a two-in-one feature and benefit. Now, to kind of, I'm at a bad angle to show this again. So if I use my X-ray vision and drop in some bonus footage for you there, you see that you've got some serious double overhead cabinet space. Plus, you've got the little bit of storage going on under the bathroom sink. Now, to be fair, one of the things that I personally try to look for when I'm recording RVs is I like to ask, where can I store a waste basket? And you may have noticed in the kitchen nor the bathroom do you really have a good opportunity for it. And I hope you appreciate that, I take the time to try to be fair like that. Like when even though it's not going to be, some folks are going to be like, oh man, that's potentially a deal breaker. Road mode. I'll close the slides. I open all the cabinetry. That stuff takes me twice as much time to make every video for very little extra footage, but I think it's important stuff. You need to know what you can store in it, and you need to know, for some folks, they're like, I don't care about road mode. Why does he make a big deal about this? For some folks, it's an absolute must-have. Now, if you're willing to do the Dukes of Hazzard, yeehaw, you could jump over this thing and you could get to the bedroom. But I don't think that counts. I don't think that counts at all, Now, one of the things is this is a rack and pinion slide. So if you do want to partially crack the slide open to get past it to like load the camper, you can. But you shouldn't like occupy and use the slide unless it is fully retracted. That's one of those just hope you appreciate the extra details kind of thing. I don't want you to unintentionally break your camper. I only want you to intentionally break your camper was the implication of that statement. I'll figure that out later. In the meantime, I'm going to go get caffeinated and let's hop outside. Let's get Doug out there. And if you take a look at the bottom of the screen, you get to see another look at the weights and the measures here. And one of the big questions I like to do is, let's talk towing. What's it going to take to haul this thing around? I think a lot of your late model tow package half tons are going to handle this one pretty readily. Now, not all half tons are created equally. In fact, most half tons are created some kind of different, basically. But there's some very real half ton towing potential here. Now, if you're going to be doing mountain towing, you may want to step it up a little bit. So, remember that where you're towing, it matters as much as what you're towing. Magnet holdbacks, slam latches on both sides of this very generously sized front pass-through. And with the water runoff that we're getting from the roof this morning, you get to see that little trickle of water that's dribbling down. Thankfully, it's not actually like getting into and onto really the baggage door, because they are using extended downspouts. I don't even know how well this is showing up on camera, but thankfully the runoff coming off that thing is mostly off to the side of that pass-through. And sometimes people, I think reasonably, will leave me a comment like, well, they should redirect that so it doesn't go right over the baggage door. Well, it kind of has to go to the front of the roof line, which by happenstance happens to line up with the front of the baggage door. So that's just kind of one of those things. Zooming back in here just a second, I do like that they give us a battery disconnect. That's great. I don't like how low it is. I feel like shifting cargo is potentially a danger there, especially because you do want the disconnect turned on so that, God forbid, you have a disconnect. You have your breakaway battery switch working. I know they're supposed to wire straight to the brakes, but I like to have all the power I can. We are prepped and ready for a full observation camera suite. And they're running a different kind of stabilizer jack on these. They're using those quick drop stabilizers that basically have an extra stability arm built right into them. And one of the cool things about that is it really locks this sucker down. You may also notice that little blue decal right under the propane tank cover. That is telling us that this is not on a traditional Lippert I-beam chassis frame. This is on a Norco huck bolted chassis. Your J-Feathers all do that. It's a, everyone's got a little bit of a different opinion, but my experience with observational evidence has been RVs on this chassis don't seem to have the rates and proliferation of potential structural things that I have seen on some other chassis. Now, there's always exceptions to every rule, but that's just a general observation I've had. Did you notice how cleanly finished off that pass-through compartment was? I really like it when manufacturers don't just leave the raw skeleton work of their underbed area exposed. I also like it when they give us a fully enclosed forced air heated underbelly here. Notice location of the spare tire. This is a belly-mounted spare. I've had some people say, I don't like it there because if I'm on the roadside and I have a flat, I have to crawl under the trailer and that feels not awesome. And I get that. Some people don't like it on the back of the RV. Like, I can't seem to get a good consensus as to where spare tires should be located. Now, we are right up against the sidewall of this thing, so I do apologize for that, but it's just, I don't have all the space in the world to walk around it here. The speakers, they practically mounted on the roof so that the space aliens floating by from Area 51 can listen to your music, because you're sure not going to have the best, sound out of it, but I don't love outside speakers, but I also don't know that I care that much because I would probably just use a Bluetooth speaker myself. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I'm not saying you're wrong for liking outside speakers. Goodyear Endurance radials with tire pressure monitoring, by the way. And we do have a tankless on-demand water heater. Some folks like a gas electric, some like on demand. I just like to point out what's what so that you can decide which RV is the best for you. A lot of RVs have, obviously in the modern era here, standardized these folding stable steps. I do have some folks sometimes say, I don't like those. I wish they could go back to the other steps. I don't know. What's your opinion on that? And this right here is an area where this RV has changed several times over the past few years. I don't think it actually even used to have any sort of mini outdoor camp kitchen, and they added this a couple years ago, and they've been tweaking it, refining it, and it's got things I like, and it's got things I don't, being fair. There are some people like, can I get it without the griddle? Well, the griddle's standard, but you could also just remove it, and then you have a galvanized rolled steel countertop tray that can pop out. There is, of course, a gas grill quick connect down below that. We got Dad's medicine cabinet for the barley water and the bottled water. This is interesting too. They give you a little place out here, little Octopus Fight Club coat hanger. I don't know. What would you hook on that in this area? Like just a little utility towel or something? I'm not sure. Now this I've got a love-hate about. I like that they gave us, in a sense, an outside water fixture. I don't like that it's enclosed in a wooden space. And yeah, there's the galvanized rolled steel countertop below it, but it's still primarily enclosed in a wooden space. I don't know that I love that. I do like, look at the awning. I know that I'm pinched next to this Keystone hideout next to me, but Jayfeather is actually really excellent about giving us maximum awning space, and the ladder, the 250-pound rated roof ladder built right on. I don't dislike the telescopics. I prefer a ladder built on from the factory because now it's one less thing I need to jockey around, I need to store, etc. But you don't use a fixed ladder properly, like you want to strap a bunch of crap to it and bounce down the road, you're going to end up probably breaking something down the line. A lot of people don't realize that's not something you should do. That's one of the reasons I like that they factory standard give us a 300-pound accessory hitch back here. And this model, one of the cool things about it is a single sewer outlet. Everything basically dumps out of a consolidated outlet back here in the rear driver's side corner, which is really like the best, most ideal location for, dump gate valves and everything, because that's where most park hookups are going to be located. Now, they obviously on the Super Slide give us nice big tinted windows, and if you want to slap a slide awning on here, you definitely could. And all the windows are breeze windows all the way around, which is nice. But the windows aren't really on the camp side of the RV. And in case you're curious, do you know why we don't get a lot of campside window coverage in RVs this size? Sounds funny, but it's the door's fault. And you're like, what? I don't get it. Why don't they just flip-flop the camper? Why don't they trade the kitchen and the slide? Well, they can't, because you can't flip-flop the door to the other side of the RV and build an RV that people want to buy. The door heavily overlaps with the slide. So the sofa and the dinette will not fit on the campside of the RV unless you add like 2 feet to the RV. So that is the long and the short reason why we get very little in the way of campside window coverage in the under 30-foot camper segment in RVs with slides. The more you know. So if you've been watching this industry for a while, you know that this is by far not an original floor plan. There are so many builders who make something like this. I think the most comparable head-to-head for comparison would be the Grand Design Imagine 2600 RB, but there's plenty of others. So I'm going to leave you some links in the video description to check for pricing, availability, and also other videos I've done on similar layouts from other builders. And on this video or that video, any of them, if you're willing to take a look, let me know which one you would prefer to go with and why. And short of that, thanks again for tuning in. If you like how we treat you fair and give you the good with the bad, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.